It's your final grid of the season then here at the Nurburgring. Sticking on pole, Mental Nev in the Group 4 Toyota has had a solid season. Yes, out idle in the Peugeot, watch out for that, it's a dominant car in this class. Sweaty Keg P3 in the Aston Martin did a really good job next to myself in the Nissan. Not a car that would normally excel round here. Rowdy Burns in the dishwasher, he's P5 today. With Surfer Evan the McLaren in P6. P7 James Harben, another car that would struggle around here with the Chevrolet. SimFx, another Dodge American car. They will struggle. Infinity Decals in the Toro Morto, he lines up just behind them with Marshall 2012. Watch out for that car at the start, it will rocket its way forward. Sea Trickle in the number 46 dishwasher lines up just behind those guys. Ice Chand in the other McLaren lines up alongside Jihad in the other Subaru. Let's get underway. Here we are then, the final race at the Nurburgring. Season 3 is due to end in about 50 minutes time. As you saw from the grid line up there, got a decent quali in the 4x4. I expect a good start as well. So tucked up behind ESR Idle, do get a great launch. Predictably the Subaru gets away well as well in the background, but it's Sweaty Keg and Mental Nev fighting it out for honours down into turn 1. Sweaty Keg with the inside line, Mental Nev just able to carry a little bit more speed. Gets the inside line for turn 2. Mental Nev leading the way. Sweaty Keg P2, myself P3 in the Nissan. Rowdy Burns, good start from Rowdy Burns. P4 for him. ESR Idle hasn't dropped that much time, he's down in P5. Marshall in the 4x4 that launches itself off the line in P6. James Harben P7, the Chevrolet Group 4, not a great car. Surfer Ev in the McLaren, that's quite a strong Group 4. P8 for him. We've got SimFx P9, Infinity Decals P10, Jihad P11, Sea Trickle P12 and Ice Chand P13. Meanwhile, back up at the top, I've got past Sweaty Keg. It is now me, Mental Nev, myself, Sweaty Keg and Rowdy Burns. ESR Idle's getting involved in this fight now as well. The FF's going to start coming into its own. But the Toyota, which has been dominant all season, is leading the way here at the Nurburgring. ESR Idle, who's had very good results in Group 4. This car's one of the strongest Group 4 machines there is, and he's doing a great job in that. Meanwhile, what else is going on? It's kind of line astern here at the moment, to be honest. There isn't too much going on in terms of on-track action. Let's jump on board Mental Nev, get a good view of the entire field as we stream down to the chicane for the first time of asking. So full abuse of track limits is happening here. As you can see, I just managed to get more of that corner tipped off, really. Not really feeling a move down into the final corner though. Decide to just stick with the slipstream behind Mental Nev instead. It's a bit more reliable in terms of an overtake opportunity. So down into T1 for the second time of asking then. Full speed this time round. Is there going to be any overtakes happening here? There's myself, there's Mental Nev. At the minute I'm sort of just saving fuel. I'm quite happy where I am. We've got Marshall going down on James Harben. Marshall went a bit deep there, it stopped James from turning in. That might give Surfer Ev the run. Indeed it did, but he looked like he had to back out of it in the end, and that's going to give SimFx an opportunity to get involved in the party. SimFx doesn't manage to make anything happen. And we've got Jihad and Sea Trickle fighting it out at the back for top honours in the not last challenge. Meanwhile at the top still line astern, no major changes there. We did have a bit of close battle in here. It was SimFx looking like he wanted to try and get past the McLaren and Surfer Ev. He does go for the move then. So he's going to have the inside line down into the hairpin. SimFx hasn't got that move made on the McLaren, and we've got Infinity Decals actually trying to make a move around the outside. The powerful Aston Martin V12 for the V8 in this one, not managing to make anything happen. No changes at the top there. Mental Nev still leading the way. Myself tucked up under his rear wing. Just been trying to save a bit of fuel behind him. Really short shift in the Nissan. It's a thirsty old beast is the Nissan. And I've got a bit of a run on Mental Nev here, coming down towards the chicane. I didn't want to get held up too much. If Mental Nev was on mediums and fuel saving, he would have naturally been slower at this stage of the race, so if I've got the pace I'll go past, and indeed that's what happens now. So I've now got to settle in a rhythm on my own. Mental Nev can use me as a bit of a slipstream for the time being, and no other changes further behind. SimFx, who had got past Infinity Decals and SimFx, now looking to make a dent on the back of James Harben's car. I see James still rocking some of the decals that we pointed out last time with regards to the tribute livery he did. As you see SimFx in the background, I think it is going for a big dive bomb on Infinity Decals as cones go flying all over the place. This one just flies up out of shot. And Ice Chan getting involved in the fight as well. So we've got two of the McLarens trying to get their way through the pack. As that cameraman puts himself in the line of fire for this one. There's a big gap though developing between P6 and P5. So ESR Idol now undoubtedly going to be one of the fastest cars on track. Mental Nev, is he going to try and get past me again? I don't know. I mean, it kind of depends on whether he starts getting pressure from Sweaty Keg. So you can hear I'm short shifting the Nissan. This is by no means me going full pelt. I very much doubt the cars behind are going absolutely balls to the wall as well. You see Sweaty Keg going for a move on Mental Nev here. Nev actually having to go a little bit defensive just to stop the Aston Martin from getting past. Sweaty Keg is the sweatiest of sweaty fuel savers though, so if he gets overtakes done a lot of the time, he just gets those moves done, as I make a bit of a mistake coming out of that right-hander. Yeah, he tends to get most of his moves made in the pits just by saving more fuel, not having to spend as long in there. So does go for the attack though on Mental Nev, doesn't manage to get that made this time round, and it is as you were as we start lap number 4. ESR Idol starting to reel into the back of these now. The battle for P6 now between Marshall and SimFx. Very similar lap times being done between these two. SimFx just a little bit back, joined by his teammate in the other McLaren in P9. We've got C-Trickle P10. James Harben's lost quite a few places. He's down in P11 with Jihad P12. And Infinity Decals lost loads of time somewhere. He's down in P13. That lap for him at 2:15, so somewhere he's lost like 8 seconds. So Infinity Decals, a lot of work to do for Mr. Robinson. On top of the field then, it's still myself in the Nissan leading the way. Long term, the Nissan's not the strongest group for it. It's first year and it eats its tyres a bit more. The guys behind me will have more natural pace. So a podium is optimistic given that I'm leading the race still. It tells you what the Nissan is like on race pace. Currently running 205s, 206s at the minute. So pace isn't bad, but not brilliant. I've just got track position at this minute in time. I fully expect Mental Nev to have a bit of a pop at me at some point. SimFx actually the fastest car on track, 205.5, as Marshall goes for a late move on him down at the hairpin. James Harben after that indiscretion, yeah, that was a 210 for him. So he lost a bucket ton of time somewhere. That lets C-Trickle past. SimFx now. What's happened to SimFx? He was battling. Sorry, I'm just going to rewind this, have a little bit of a look at what's gone on. So instant replay of what happened for SimFx then. So this is where we saw Marshall go for the move, just a little bit of contact at the apex, but SimFx onto the gravel. He did well to recover it, but he's just going to be losing pace all the way up. And Ice Chan gets his way through there in the 650S, and that is going to put SimFx all the way down in P9. A little bit further up the road, we've got Marshall being attacked by SimFx. SimFx goes for the move down sideways going into the chicane there. Marshall's lost a load of pace, so he's down to P7. He's got the other McLaren just behind him though. Oh, he's hit the wall as well. Oh my god, that's going to let a few cars past him. So that's that Ice Chan and SimFx. It past his Sea Trickle, going to get the run on him as well. And the Sea Trickle might well fancy himself here. James Harben fancy himself on a move on Sea Trickle. And for the time being, the Subaru has escaped that one. Infinity Decals has started to reel in the car ahead, so 2 seconds took out of him that time round. This midfield battle is shaping up to be absolutely superb, I'll be honest, as SimFx goes for a move there on Ice Chan. He's having a very busy afternoon in SimFx in the Viper. He's got another McLaren just ahead of him now. Meanwhile, a little bit further up the road, SR idle in the Peugeot, just probably reserving himself a little bit. You can see this top 3 fight is still very close. We'll jump on board Sweaty Keg as I go deep there into the chicane. That's gonna let Mental Nev through. It's not all bad for me, means I can tuck myself up behind the Toyota and save a bit of fuel. So I do go defensive here just to stop Sweaty Keg from having a pop. The Nissan with its 4-wheel drive did have quite good stability around here, but it did like to eat its tyres at the same time as well. Didn't really practice for this if I remember correctly, so I was just winging this, but it turned out to be wung quite well. So a little bit further behind you see Rowdy Burns and the SR Idle as well getting involved. A little bit of field spread going on now, and the top 3 orders changed a little bit, but the fight is still very much on between us 3. At the top, Surfer Rev then, he's leading this next little pack. He has got a SimFx closing him down. Marshall's not far away, Sea Trickle as well. James Harben, who may have another pop at the dishwasher this time round. Ice Chan's lost a bucket load of time somewhere. That lap of 2:09 for Ice Chan, so 3 seconds lost. Jihad then coming under Aston Martin attack. The V8 Vantage is going to have a pop at him down into turn 1. In fact, he gets a move made way before the corner. And the Subaru might go for a pop back at him here. Jihad down the inside. A little bit of off-road. That was a lovely move by Jihad. Let's go back and have another look at that. So there goes the Aston Martin. So a bit of a late dive down. Gets the car stopped. Infinity Decals in fairness saw that coming and widened his entry angle to give the room, so fair play, good racing. Mental Nev's pulled a little bit of a gap, it has to be said to myself. I've got a penalty somewhere, that's probably for daring to go near track limits. Now rules I have to serve those within 2 laps. So I think at this time I was trying to see if I could burn it off in the corners. This didn't work. And I think I ended up having to give a few places up. So if it weren't for these little crappy penalties that GT Sport give you, I would have been well in with a shout. So you can see whatever I did lost me time to Mental Nev, so yeah, it's coming back to me. I wasn't happy about that at the time, I don't think. Surfer Rev managing to stay ahead of SimFx. Marshall's managing just to keep in touch with that, but Sea Trickle is becoming a bit of a cork in the bottle for James Harben. Just managing to stay ahead of the Chevrolet. So it's Dishwasher versus Hammer for P9 in this race. Let's have a little bit further back. We've got Ice Chan, who we saw lost that time a lap or so ago. Infinity Decals, who's lapping a lot quicker than the cars ahead of him. So he's in the 206s. A lot of the other cars are starting to lap in that time as well, so it should even itself out. Lap number 7 then, 12 minutes into a 50-minute race. It's definitely going to be one on strategy. I think I was trying to go for a 2-stop, so run 20 minutes on the softs, 10 minutes on mediums, 20 minutes on the softs. Boom, there's your uncle. Just making the fuel last with this one, so hence the fuel saving strat that I needed to undertake. So penalty still to serve. I had a little bit of time before I had to serve it, but just decided, yeah, I might as well just get it out of the way. So indicate to come over, pull off the racing line, and I'll be slowing down. And unfortunately, that does let Sweaty Keg through. It might let Rowdy Burns through at this stage as well, because I end up going deep into the corner. So I've lost 2 places because of a track cut penalty that lost me time, if anything. Thanks, GT Sport. So that's P4 for me. Let's have a look how everyone's race is going. SimFx turned himself a little penalty as well. Pulled away from C-Trickle, so that penalty won't really hurt him to serve. C-Trickle still holding up James Harben. Marshall has recovered before, lost a load of time. There's Infinity Decals just trying to get to grips with the Nurburgring circuit. Meanwhile at the top, NextLevel leading the way. We've got 15 minutes expired in this one. We've got Sweaty Keg in P2, Rowdy Burns P3, and then myself now, after serving that penalty, P4 for myself. So not very happy with that. In fact, it's made me more mad watching it back than I think it did at the time. But there we go. Dark horse in this one is this guy right here. He's been absolutely dominant in Group 4 class. Pretty much wiped the floor with everyone in Group 4s. That car's an absolute beast. So we'll see what happens to him. He's in the fight, he's in the top 5, and looking at it, he's only a second or so away from NextLevel in P1. He's probably just trying to look after his tyres in this first stint. I don't think anyone's going to pit just yet. I'd imagine the first pit's happened about 20 minutes in, thereabouts. My job for the time being is to try and get past Rowdy Burns, although I've picked up another penalty for nothing. Yeah, it's a damn game. A couple of pit stops are happening actually. James Harben smacks the pit entry, so he did, yeah, a couple of guys that were on mediums are going to come in and get rid of them now. So most medium strapped cars in the pits, and we'll be back out again. Jihad, P13 for Jihad, does he pit? No, he's going to stay out. You see me right on the back of Rowdy Burns now. I don't think Rowdy's going to let me have this one easily. I see a little bit of glitching from Rowdy's car. It was every time you were near him, basically, his car would start glitching about a little bit. It did make racing him quite difficult. But we'll see if I manage to get past the dishwasher as I try and burn a bit more penalty away. I'll try to do this one bit by bit. It would have been a little bit easier to shuffle the penalty off if I could just back off while I'm in the slipstream of another car, and it served it that way. I did remember trying to do that earlier in the race with the last penalty I got, and it didn't work, so I don't know why I'm trying it again. Probably a bit of a frivolous exercise. So if I look down the inside of Rowdy Burns there, he goes deep again, needs to see the car glitching all over the place, managed to get that move done, back up to P3 for myself. Rowdy's going to have a go down the inside, the Nissan's probably got a bit more pace just in a straight line. And for the time being, Rowdy's just going to have to settle for P4. He can probably just save a bit of fuel behind me, to be fair. So what are we, 19 minutes. Sweaty Keg's piling pressure all over the back of the Toyota. Toyota just looks to be a little bit unsteady around the corners. The Aston Martin's just able to extract a little bit of exit speed. And for the time being, the Toyota's looking like a little bit of a sitting duck as we go down towards the final chicane. Sweaty Keg on the racing line, NextLevel on the defensive one. Sweaty Keg just on the brakes a little bit later and gets that move made, and up to P1 goes the Aston Martin. So he stays out. NextLevel late dive into the pits for the Toyota. I come in the pits as well. Rowdy Burns carries on. So NextLevel was on the mediums. So Interesting that he doesn't have to run that tyre anymore, he can run the faster soft tyre. I've done a good job on fuel saving, 27%. I came in with probably the most fuel out of anyone. So given the fact I despise fuel saving with a passion that cannot be rivalled, I actually managed to do a decent job of it. So I'm going to short fuel now and go for how many laps? 5-6 laps on the mediums. And then I'll go on, strap another set of softs on when the car's nice and light at the end of the race. The two cars ahead of me have yet to pit, so I may yet regain the lead of the race. ESR Idle and Mental Never going to now scrap it out for ultimate supremacy. ESR Idle is now on the faster tyre, 2:03.9 for him, so he takes the fastest lap of the race now. Everyone were doing 2:05s, 2:06s before. ESR Idle sets some soft tyres on that car and boom, he is away. Mental Nev could do with track position, doesn't want to get stuck behind the Peugeot. If he's in front of the Peugeot, he can control the pace a little bit more. But the Peugeot, as you can see there, just able to pull away, really. It's just a fast car. So that's, yeah, that's how I'd look to P4, but I think Mental Level will keep that challenge up. A lot of these cars have pitted, some haven't. I'm just looking at the times. I think SimFx is just pitted, so C-Trickle, Jihad. I don't think Jihad's actually pitted yet, you know. Sweaty Keg hasn't pitted yet either, although he is a fuel saving and tyre saving maestro. Stays out for another lap as well. Rowdy Burns, does he come in the pits this lap? No, he's also going to stay out. So let's see how this race develops. Sweaty Keg in the pit lane. Rowdy Burns hasn't pitted. Maybe he's going to try and go for the one stop here. Coming down the main straight now is myself, Mental Nev and ESR Idle. So I'm on the medium, those guys are on the softs. Kind of good for me that they're battling because it is slowing them down, but they're still, even though they're fighting, they're still lapping quicker than I am. So Mental Nev ahead of ESR Idle now with a 2:04.1 that time round. 2:05.1 for that lap, and ESR Idle for me a 2:05.5. So the medium tyres not proving to be the quickest. I was on half a tank of fuel, so I was hoping the lighter weight would help. But Rowdy Burns, those tyres have got to be screaming in absolute agony now. Sweaty Keg comes out in P5. Again, he might just be going for the one-stop strat here. Certainly far enough into the race to make it happen. So if he was on mediums, then the soft stint is easily doable now with just 20 odd minutes left in the race. James Harbin P6. We think most of these other cars have got to stop again. The only cars we think are doing the one stop are Rowdy Burns and Sweaty Keg. I kind of think everyone else is going to be doing a two-stop strategy. And we will of course see how that plays out through the rest of the race. It'd be nice if we had a little graphic on GT Sport, like they do in F1, that just says how many times certain cars pitted. That'd be nice to see. Maybe GT7. Maybe we'll get that in a future incarnation of the game. Who knows? It wouldn't be a IGTMS video without a standard shout out to Logan Luke, who designed my livery this season. It's had a couple of little alterations through the season with the Jackie livery, Jackie decals on there. But of course, a shout out to Logan who designed it. I've run the same liveries all season. Rowdy Burns finally pits, so yeah, he's pretty much nailed himself to a one stop now. So this will put me in the lead of the race, albeit temporary. So 2:05.3 for me that time, 2:03.7 for Mental Nev, 2:04.8 for ESR Idle. So yeah, the cars behind are going quicker than I am, by virtue of me being on a very slidey tyre. Sweaty Keg now out of the pits, 2:03.2 for him that lap. So yeah, he's now picking up the pace, so I'm guessing he's on the softs. James Harbin up to P5 by virtue of a few pit stoppers happening. Surfer P6, Rowdy Burns P7, but we don't think he's pitting again now. Marshall P8, having a fight with C-Trickle in P9. Ice Chand is P10 for the time being. Serexic P11. He was having a great race up until that incident at the hairpin. Jihad is up to P12 and Infinity Decals P13. He's had an off or something somewhere. But a 2:04.5 that lap round, so he's definitely getting on the pace. As for myself, I've got another couple of laps on these tyres before I bin them in favour of some softs. It is inevitable I will get caught by the cars behind. It's just a matter of how I handle that when it does arrive. The two cars that are behind me are very fast, capable cars, championship leading cars in their respective rights as well. So we've got the championship leader Mental Lev and the Group 4 boss ESR Idol. Well, Mental Lev slowed down, I think to serve his penalty actually. So yeah, Mental Lev slowed down to get rid of that penalty. It kind of gives ESR Idol a clear path to me. So you can see me there. Oh, I'm coming into the pits now. So into the pits I come. There we go. So that's me. We have ran 30 minutes, so that was pretty much me on time. I'm now going to do a 20-minute stint on the soft tyre. And I should come out in P4, but we'll see. James Harbin's going to serve his penalty here. No, I don't come out in P4 at all. I'm going to come out in some traffic by the looks of it. There we go. I'm out. P7. Oh, I've got some work to do now, but that's me. I'm going to the end. Quite a lot of the cars ahead of me are going to have to pit again, we think. So the gap then between me and the next car that's no stopping, other than Rowdy Burns, who I think's on the potentially on the medium tyre. Sweaty Keg, quite a big gap then. He's quite a far way around the track, so him not having to pit again, that'll save him a ton of time. Mental Lev now chasing down ESR Idol, the race leader. Again, these two cars we think are going to have to come and stop again. Sweaty Keg doesn't, so he's going to be going to the end, we think. James Harbour just trying to tame the American beast as Surfrev's trying to get on top of that American car himself as well. Rowdy Burns after his pit stop. I think he might be on the softs now. He's got me chasing him down. So we'll see where I end up. Yeah, we'll see. I started the race P4, so if I equal that, I'm actually going to be quite happy. So a couple of cars pit. These were cars that I was catching up to. And myself and ESR Idol about to go to war. 2:04.9 last time round for me. And I'm back on the soft tyre, of course. Yes, I am. And that's not right, 2:01.1 is impossible. Maybe for like Igor Fraga and stuff, who knows. So the strategic game of chess is being played. So Sweaty Keg, we think, is not going to stop again. He's going to go to the end. The thing is, if me and ESR Idol work together here, which I don't think we end up doing because we just end up fighting, he's not that far away. We could have probably reeled him in a little bit because he's just going to start losing time now, because he's one stopping and his tyres are going to be dead. Mental Lev, we think, is going to have to stop again. So he is indeed running a very fast soft stint, so yeah, he's probably not fueled up to the max. Here, just to give you a heads up, so this is on board ESR Idol's car. I indicate, let him go. So this is my let's just try and work together sort of strat, because I didn't want to fight him too much. I actually can't remember doing that, but I actually thought we fought for a lot more, but we don't, so which is nice. Go teamwork. The thing is though, he's just going to bugger off now, because that Peugeot's just ridiculous. Fourth for me, started 4th, so finishing 4th, I won't be too annoyed at that. I know a couple of penalties cost me time early on, but I think in the grand scheme of things it probably wouldn't have mattered too much. We've got 15 minutes left, I think, so plenty of time for stuff to happen. Mental Nev pits then, so 15 minutes, 40 minutes to go. He's going to come in, get a splash of fuel, probably stick some fresh tyres on there and come out again. Will he come out ahead of Sweaty Keg though? That's the question. Sweaty Keg comes across the start-finish line, down the main straight, past the pit straight, so yeah, he's going to come out ahead. I think Mental Nev will get out ahead of ESR Idle and me. In fact, I can hear him leaving his pit box now. Oh no, he comes out behind us. So that's Sweaty Keg, ESR Idle and me. Mental Nev now though is going to be rapid. And we're on older tyres, so probably going to be a really easy move for Mental Nev when he does get to me. This race happened a while ago, so I forgot what happened. The two dishwashers running 5th and 6th, so good for them so far. Don't know if C Trickle needs to pit again though. SimFx just pitted. He's P7. James Harbin's pitted as well, P8 for him. Marshall not long since pitted. He's P9. Sarexic. Don't know if he has, but when did he pit? So he'd done a 2:13, but it's not showing him on as an outlap, so I'm not sure. Couldn't tell you, to be honest. Ice Chand P11 for Ice Chand. Jihad P12 and Infinity Decals just coming out of the pits now. But P13 for the Aston Martin. The other Aston Martin, other end of the field. P1 for Sweaty Keg. Going to the end of the race. ASR Idle hunting him down. In terms of times, the ASR Idle's actually running about 2 seconds a lap faster than the car ahead. In terms of gap, the gap's 8 seconds, so in 4 laps ASR Idle will have him. Myself starting to drop back probably a little bit now to ASR Idle. I've got the attentions of the Toyota. The Toyota's on fresh tyres. I'd imagine when he gets to me it's going to be a relatively easy job for him to get past, but we'll see, I might put up a bit of a fight. I don't remember, to be brutally honest. I have no idea what happened. You can see visually the gap then between Sweaty Keg, ESR Idle, myself not far back, Mental Nev getting a little bit of slipstream assist as well. Don't know why blue flags are out, there's no back markers coming through or anything like that. I think Mental Nev had sealed the championship before this race even begun anyway, but he will want to finish on a higher, want at least a podium out of this one. Good strategy call so far by Sweaty Keg. The one stop does appear to be working for him at the minute, despite him losing time every lap. By virtue of not having to do a second pit stop, it's really helped him. C Trickle's pitted then, he's come out in P8. See visually the gap between me and Mental Nev is shrinking by the apex. I'm just flicking through the pack to see if there's anything interesting or exciting going on. There isn't really, so let's keep an eye. Oh, his Sweaty Keg goes very, 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 very deep. Let's actually jump on board a car for a lap, I think. 23rd lap then, we're running out of time here at Nurburgring. Sweaty Keg still leading the way. The gap between him and ESR Idle just over 2 seconds as they broke the timing beam to start the 23rd lap. Mental Nev thoroughly pulled away from myself now. I've got enough of a gap to Rowdy Burns not to have to worry too much, and I know that car's on aged tyres as well. James Harbin still leading Surfer Ev. P6 for the Chevrolet, P7 for the McLaren, C Trickle, P8 for C Trickle with Marshall, P9. Then you can see Sarexic coming over the crest of the hill, P10 for him, Ice Chan P11, Jihad P12 and Infinity Decals P13. You can see the top 3 in one shot then. 1.9 seconds is the gap between Idle and Sweaty Keg, and 1.6 seconds the gap between Idle and Mental Nev. So I'd argue then, ESR Idle's attentions are now probably going to be focused more on the car behind him than the car ahead. The tyres on that Peugeot will be starting to feel the pain a little bit. Sweaty Keg will have been looking after his a little bit, hence the very, very consistent times there. 206 1s, 206 3s, 206 4s pretty much throughout the stint. So he's managed this stint beautifully. And they're going to come around then to start the final lap of the race. So we'll check the times when they do that, and it'll be giving us an idea of just how much space there is between them. I'm probably too far back to do anything about this now. I'm losing time to them, just by virtue of pure poor race pace, to be brutally honest with you. But I'll blame them penalties I got near the start of the race, so it just makes me feel better as a person. So this lap for Sweaty Keg, a 206.3, a 205, 206.0 for Idle, sorry, and a 204.1 for Mental Nev. So Mental Nev is definitely looking like he's going to be able to try and make a move on this Peugeot. This might be Sweaty Keg's saviour then, because Idle's not going to be focused on the car ahead. Indeed, the gap has stayed at 2 seconds between Idle and Sweaty Keg, so this is giving Sweaty Keg some definite breathing room here. Time being, the Peugeot is surviving the onslaught, but the Toyota are much fresher tyres as we come through this more twisty second sector. The Toyota is definitely going to have the advantage on the exit speed here. Just going to see how much he's going to reel him in here. Look, once the power of the Peugeot kicks in, he will start to pull away a tiny bit. Subaru is going to have to try and think a bit more of a brave move to get past the Peugeot. Well, they're going to run side by side through the Senna S. Sweaty Keg might just survive this. Mental Nev backs out. Gaps actually come down between Sweaty Keg and Idle. He's now at just a second then, so Sweaty Keg is hanging on. If Mental Nev wasn't there, Idle would be fully focused on the car ahead. Instead he's having to go defensive to the car behind. Bumper to bumper then as they come down towards the final chicane for the last time. Mental Nev's going to have to try and move here, or ideally on the apex. So in fact he does get on the brakes early. Idle does miss the apex a little bit. Mental Nev goes to the inside. Last corner shenanigans then for Mental Nev. He's got the inside line, he's got that move made then. Sweaty Keg is going to take the win here at Nurburgring. Mental Nev just clinching second at the very end of the race. ESR Idle takes the final podium position. Myself P4 with a pathetic handbrake. Rowdy Burns is going to claim P5. A good race for Rowdy. A no stop, one stop, sorry, pulled off. Surfrev has got past James Harman somewhere. He claims P6, James Harman P7. C Trickle is going to bring this in for P8. So some good results for the Hyundai boys. Marshall P9 for Marshall. P10 for Sayrexic. P11 for Ice Chand. P12 for Jihad and P13 for Infinity Decals. But all the credit for this one goes to this man, Sweaty Keg in the Deadpool. Congratulations on the win, mate.